Hello and welcome guys, ArmaganVideos here, today with a tutorial on how to create a flyer in Photoshop, for example those flyers that you can see in clubs or anything like that. And yeah, I'm going to show you how to make a flyer step by step. And yeah, let's jump right into Photoshop, and I've already prepared a folder called flyer tutorial. There you can find my stocks that I'm going to use. There are some clouds in it, some mountain stocks, also paper texture because we're going to make it look a bit vintage in the end, and also some grunge brushes so that we're going to make our flyer look like used and damaged a bit. And we're going to work with clipping masks on this one. So let's start with our size or proportions of our flyer. And if you didn't know, there are some presets. If you hit Command N, you can just easily create a new document. And here we go, we got the presets, and I'm going to use international paper size A5 because normally flyers I know are A5 sized. So just go for it and you get your predefined document right there. Then double click on your background to unlock it, or just don't give it a name because we are going to create another custom background with a solid color. Oops. And make it black at first, pull it down, delete this one, call it background. So let's start first by bringing in our stocks right here. Oops. And we should start with our mountains, I think. I'm not sure which one we should use right now, but I think this is the best option right here. So just drag it in. Make sure that when you import it, this little icon right here is in there, because when this is checked, you could also make it to a smart object if it isn't already. When this is checked, you can resize it like proportionally. When you posted it was like resized, but as you can see, it constrains its sharpness and stuff when it's a smart object. Of course, you can't make it bigger than its actual size that it was shot in. And yeah, just a little notice right there. So what we're going to do now is delete the sky off of our background picture right here, and therefore I'm just going to zoom in, take our pen tool, and I'm going to pen tool this real quick. So there we go, I finished the pen tooling work. Then just go around, close the path of our pen tool, go to make selection, and now it's up to you. Do you want your selection like really rough, or do you want a little feather radius on it? I'm going to go with the rough option right here, because in the end you can just easily change it by using a mask option right there. Just hold down shift while clicking on this one. Oh, don't hold down shift, just click on this one. And there you go, our image is perfectly cut out. Press Command T again to transform it to its actual size again. There we go. So what we're going to do with this picture right here is we're going to blend it into a dark, dark gradient to this bottom right here, so that we can write some stuff about the party that's going to happen on this imaginable flyer that's going to be placed right here, the text. And yeah, so let's just make this gradient real quick. You can tweak it by dragging it up here, then also bringing down this one right there. All right. Also drag down the mountain a bit. I think this is fine. What you could also do, instead of using a gradient, you could kind of use these natural lines right here to make it look like there was a cloud above it, and this area right here got very dark. So let's just try it real quick to see how it looks. Oops. There we go. Zoom out, close the path again. Oops. Yeah, as you can see now it looks way better, like it's actually a cloud going above there and making a very dark kind of feeling. Let's try to change some of these color modes, maybe to overlay. Yeah, this looks good actually. Yes, zoom in. Yeah, it's fine. All right, let's continue with adding our clouds. Therefore, I'm going to use, this looks kinda good. So this one, yeah, for the clouds you can just easily combine anything because they actually look the same every time. So as you can see, we have some things here that we don't want. So just grab it, make a clipping mask, and there we go. What we're also going to do now is get a very soft, very soft brush, pull down the hardness to 0% and make it a bit bigger. Then make sure that you have the dark color right here selected so that it deletes this part right here. Hold down Shift so that it doesn't actually goes up. So let's make this a bit better now. All right. Get our, why is it opening every time? Let's get another set of our clouds. Of course, we don't want this one here to be in there. So let's delete all this. Bring this up. And we should look if the clouds are actually matching up. Because if they aren't, we're just going to use another set of clouds. What I also used is like a, not really a cloud stock, actually like some clouds from explosions or smoke. Because they look more epic in there. As you can see, when we're going to change our blending mode, it's going to start to look way better. So let's push up this one. And a little tip from me is like when you're compositing together or when you're matching up colors and stuff and using blending modes, you should always make a black and white filter above your pictures, because then you can see where like really bright areas are, and therefore you can adjust them with levels, with a level adjustment or brightness and contrast. So in the end, the colors will match up kind of automatically. So yeah, as you can see here, we have to, I'm going to turn this off real quick. All right, let's see how this looks. Ooh. Turn on the opacity. By pressing X, you can change the colors right here, as you can see. So what I don't like is how this kind of looks right here. Way too hard. I'd also like to stretch this one, maybe not too much. No, I don't like that the sun is coming from here. I want the sun to come from the middle, so yeah, way better actually. Wow. Why didn't came this into my mind earlier? So that's what we want actually. Perfect. Let's try to find another stock that's going to fit in there. Change the blending mode. let's use overlay, make it a bit more epic and dramatic. So there we go. Actually, now what I want to do is make a copy of our White Mountain CA layer. Call this one backup. Then use our copied and kind of get a smaller brush like 150 and use a very like 50% brush and delete kind of these top edges right here so there are no hard edges and there's some haze happening in the white space right there. So okay, this looks fine to me. If we're going to apply a black and white, we can see that the contrast right here is kind of not perfect. I'm going to make a strong brightness and contrast on it. Alright, to also push the sun, we're going to make a new layer with a white brush. Make it big, even bigger, I'd say, like 1000. And just go from there to there. Oh, make sure that your opacity is on 100%, of course. Make it like this, maybe go a bit right here. Change it to overlay, not too hard. Or actually, I think overlay could work if you turn down the opacity. Alright, so what we're going to do next is actually we should make it a bit more epic, I think. So let's adjust our color at first. And what we're going to do now is grab all this, click on the first layer, hold down Shift while dragging on the clicking on the last layer, then hold down Shift and click on this folder icon, give it a name, call it compositing. Alright. And I want a very warm color set, but first of all let us create a vignette for our composited image right here. Make it black on both sides. Click OK. Go from linear to radial, then click on reverse and play with the scale. So it's going to start look way more epic. Also, if you go down to overlay, as you can see here, but I think soft light is better in this picture right here. So there we go. What I also don't like are kind of these cloud artifacts right there. They don't look realistic. So grab a small brush. Oops, way too strong. Pick this color so we can work on it later on. So that's why I told you to pick this color. We're going to go over this right here and fill it up again. I think it was a bit too much actually. So use your eraser tool, eraser, kind of delete it again. There we go. Oops, misclicked. So we call this our vignette. And now we're going to use our color balance. And we're going to crank up the reds and our yellows to give it a very warm look. Also decrease our greens. I think too much yellows. I want a more reddish. There we go. So this looks kind of fine. What we should add now, I think we should also add way more contrast to our clouds. So let's create a new contrast layer, crank up the contrast, or brightness and contrast layer, and now use the clipping mask with a black brush to crank up, to delete the contrast right here. Turn up the opacity to 100%. Make sure that the contrast just is applied on our clouds, as you can see here. All right, and now we can go for our text actually. So I think, let me look if I have a specific, I think we should use Gotham. I really like this font. So how is our party called? Let's give it a name. Like fly high party or so. Or above. I want something short. So now make our font bold. Not too bold, make it like medium maybe. And make sure that you click on this icon right here. And to set the kerning, just select a specific, yeah, I want that all these letters are actually touching. Nah, fly isn't a good name. Okay, let's just call it sky actually. Let the letters touch each other. There we go. Then click on Command and A to select the whole document. Then press V to get these move options right there and align it to the middle. Then drag it up again because we want it right in the sun. And we're going to go with a bit for the typography and use a typical line right there to divide it. There we go. Make sure that it's centered again. Press here, drag it down while holding Alt so that you can make a copy. Sky high and higher. This time I want a bigger kerning. And all right, this looks all right. And let's continue with our artists that are going to visit our event. So, of course, get this font again. So let's get some random artists or DJs or whatever. Of course, that's too big. We're going to make them small, but very big, so make it bold. There we go. Maybe -50. Looks good. Let's say it's just a mixed event. For the sake of the Apple event, we're just going to use U2. And there you go. So now make sure that all these, we could actually also just write them in one layer. I don't know why I made separate layers, but yeah, actually let's make one single layer. So Skrillex, U2, Tupac, Eminem. Now get these again. Make sure that they are not too far spread from each other. So there we go. And in the end, I'm going to show you a little tip, because black on this kind of dark background doesn't look good. So I'm going to show you a little technique I use. Also, let's put some information down here. All right, there we go. So let's push this to the right, a bit up. For this kind of scaling stuff, you can also use guidelines. All right. So, and what we're going to do now is put them in a group, put our text layers in a group, call it or artists. So I'm going to show you a little trick right now. Put the artist folder right there, turn off all our layers that are going to be, or that are filled with text, and make a new layer, go to image, apply image, then turn on all layers again, and right click, make a clipping mask, and just drag this one around. There you go, cool effect, as you can see right here. I really like this. You're going to just use some colors from the document, put them to your text, and it kind of looks all matched up and nice. But you can't read this really good, so just tweak it a bit. There you go. Looks fine to me. Also make sure that you're safe. Actually, I think this looks better. So yeah, let's just take this one. Now we're going to fill our bottom of our picture with some details. So just drag this down again. This time make it white, and we're going to use our technique later on to fill it again so it looks better. Type in your your date. So let's put this one into a folder. These ones, where are they? There, there, and there. So this looks fine. Now you could add some social media icons right down there, but just for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, now just hold down Alt while dragging this layer down to this layer right here. Make it a clipping mask. And there we go, looks pretty nice actually. And what you could do now is get all the layers that are actually vectors, like type this one, for example, the divider. So basically just make sure that you're going to color the picture. So grab all this one or grab all this and go to color lookup, and there are some pretty fine options right there. So check out how this looks. Yeah, this is actually a fine tweak right there. I think we're going to just duplicate it, use crisp warm 3 stripe, and use some level adjustments to kind of make it look even warmer. And to give it now this vintage effect that I talked about in the beginning of this tutorial, I'm going to add our paper texture now, and let me see which one works best. I think well, actually all aren't the best ones, but let's go for the grungy paper right here and connect it with the other one. Just put it on on our picture. I don't think lighten or screen will work if we leave it on 100%, so yeah, actually overlay. Okay, soft light is good. So as you can see here, it looks pretty good, but since here the contrast is too strong, it's not going to work pretty good. What if we crank it up? Yeah, this could work. We crank it up for the middle and delete everything from right here. So where do we? Yeah. Alright, actually I don't like that it's right here, that it's so hard right there, so I'm going to tweak it a bit. There we go. Now add another one. I think this paper texture is fine. So, and I want this paper texture to not have any colors, so I'm just going to make a black and white on it, give it a clipping mask, and there you go. It looks way better in my opinion. Turn on the opacity even a bit more. And now we've lost some contrast at our picture, so I'm just going to duplicate our levels right there, make it a bit darker, but still let the colors look kind of bleached out. There we go. Now a old trick I've often used is make a solid color, go to right at this kind of point right there. I'll just copy the color code I've used, and I think it was, where did we have it? Okay, let's just try. Yeah, lighten, I think it was. Or even screen. So now try to kind of don't have a black right here, make it look or have like a color right here in the bottom of the color picker panel. So I don't want it to be this kind of dark pink. There we go. Save again, make a big folder, call it picture or just flyer. And now we can use our downloaded brushes. Just click on them and you will actually have them right here. Give this one a clipping mask. Choose our grunge brush. I think, this is actually fine. So let's check how this works if we turn it down a bit more. Not the best one with brushes. Actually, I would have used a very hard grunge picture. To just achieve this effect, so. Yeah, it doesn't look that good, so let's just go to Google and search for a grunge texture. So now I've just found another texture that we could use for making our edges look way harder. So just get them, set them to overlay, I think. Yeah, this right there. I just want to use it at the top, so and to finish all this, just duplicate the top layer and put it at the bottom. Now grab all these, put them in a folder again, turn on the opacity because I think it's too much. And there we go, looks pretty fine. And now turn up the contrast again. Or actually, I think a levels adjustment would work way better. Oops, I want to increase our blacks. Alright, this looks fine. Now what we could also add is the last gradient, and therefore we're going to use our photographic toning. I just choose actually something like this, go to here, not lighten, also not screen, I think soft light is perfect. Yeah, but to choose another one. Now let's just leave it like that. Save it out. Now you can just put down here the social media icons and we're ready to go. There you go, your flyer is finished. Looks very nice, actually modern. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Leave a like, a comment, or suggest me some new tutorials, some kind of, yeah, some subscribers wanted me to make a new tutorial for Photoshop and not just Illustrator or After Effects or something like that. So here we go, guys, a flyer tutorial, a bit of everything like typography, using clipping masks again, compositing of some different images, finding some right colors for them, making a burnt kind of look, and there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, ArmaganVideos.